Suzanne Reed and her dog Choco know the wooded trails around Missoula well.
We're on Forest Service land. This is a easily accessible trail.
Suzanne can tell you all about the ponderosa pines and larch trees that shade us. As a girl growing up in the East, she learned about hardwood trees like sugar maples, lessons taught by her father.
As I grew up, I came to call him a druid. He did love trees. I did get my love of trees from my father. The woods were essential to my well-being, both generally as a human, but particularly to me as a Reed.
The family lived in New York, Massachusetts, and Ohio. Almost everywhere they moved, they acquired wooded land.
And we would go to the woods and work hard.
At a young age, Suzanne had her own chainsaw. While pursuing a 2-year forestry degree, she took her first job in the Sequoia National Forest in California. She joined a crew clearing out snags after a clear cut.
And this was before the day when people recognized the value of wildlife snags and that you should leave snags standing for the wildlife.
Through the years, Suzanne would acquire a 4-year forestry degree from the University of Montana. She says she was a pioneer in a man's world.
Definitely a pioneer. I definitely had to deal with men who didn't think I belonged there.
It was hard, she says, isolating.
There were jobs I had where I was the only woman in sight.
But she says for her, it was also a golden era in the Forest Service for seasonal workers.
And people like me who are nomadic, who have curiosity and want to see new places.
She also worked in Oregon and in Washington.
As a tree planting inspector.
She remembers in 1980 when ash from Mount St. Helens drifted onto her tree planting crew in Washington State.
Here was the end of the world sweeping across the horizon. And it was really scary. I mean, we were breathing ash.
Her boss in Washington joked that Forest Service misfits were sent to one of the most remote outposts on the Kootenai National Forest.
To the Yak in Montana. And I immediately identified, I'm definitely a misfit. I should go to the Yak.
She loved the simple, self-sustaining life.
Just taking care of your basic needs. Water, which we hauled from the river. You could hunt.
She brought 9 sled dogs with her to the Yak.
For transportation, I would also use the dogs to bring home the animals that my partner killed during hunting season. I would haul home firewood.
She did cadastral surveying throughout Region 1, but Suzanne believes her most important work was in forest ecology.
I watch everything, and I see how everything fits together.
She says forest management, like timber harvest, roads, and other human projects, need to consider the tiniest insects and plants, the water and soil.
Everything between the earth and the sky needs to be considered.
She believes that her last project with the regional ecologist helped bring forest ecology more into the forefront.
Any decision you make in the forest, it's a better decision if you consider all things.
The retired forester says humans are part of the ecosystem too, but only part of it. Kevin Mackey, NBC, Montana.